up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel here on YouTube. My name is Sonia if you don't know me, and I love high-end and luxury beauty. Today I actually have a really special video for you guys. I have the new Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Dreams palette in front of me. It arrived in the mail yesterday and I didn't think it was gonna happen. It's a bit of a long story how I obtained this, but I cannot wait to film and use this palette on my eyes today. Some of you might actually have some questions on how I actually got this palette, and I really had to track it down. I follow Chic Profile Official on Instagram. I think the content creator behind it is called Tavia, and she mentioned that she was going to do swatches of this palette on her Patreon, and I realized there was a new Charlotte Tilbury palette out. I saw on her page that it was out in Eastern Europe and some parts of Asia, and since I live in Western Europe, I thought, why not try and get this palette as well. It cost me a ton of money, guys, to get this palette. Like, dare I say, nearly double what you would normally pay for a Charlotte Tilbury quad. So I was a little bit afraid that it wasn't going to be worth the money. Even though Charlotte Tilbury is one of my favorite brands, lately we've had some misses, at least in my book. Unfortunately, the Beautiful Skin Foundation didn't work out for me, and then the new Eyes to Mesmerize didn't work out for me. So I really needed a win for Charlotte Tilbury, but I do want to shout out to Tavia's page, Chic Profile Official. It's where I get the newest news for luxury beauty, what's coming out, and that's the reason I got this little palette. I got this from a Ukrainian retailer. It took a while to get here. It took a lot of money, so I hope you appreciate this content, but I did get to play around with it yesterday because I actually wanted to film yesterday. Unfortunately, due to Storm Eunice here in the Netherlands, and just because I do have a 5-month-old baby and a dog, and for some reason these two just, didn't allow me to film yesterday. It's okay, sometimes that happens, but I couldn't get the content out for you yesterday. I did do some swatches and I made a YouTube short, so you can always look back on the swatches and the comparisons between the original Pillow Talk palette. Enough talking, let's just get into the video. So because this palette isn't out yet, I don't really know a lot of details about it. So what I know is it's called Pillow Talk Dreams, and I know that it should have the quality of the Fire Rose palette. The Fire Rose palette is one of the most coveted Charlotte Tilbury palettes out there. I personally don't own it, and it's probably one of my biggest regrets. At the time, I was doing a low buy to no buy, and I remember seeing the Fire Rose palette and I wanted it, but then I told myself, no, I have to stick to my no buy. And yeah, I definitely am a little upset I never got the Fire Rose palette. I still am waiting for secretly a restock. So I definitely was like, okay, this new Pillow Talk palette has my name on it. I want to try this formulation, and I'm gonna do everything necessary to get this quad. So first off, let's talk outside packaging. This is the outside packaging of my Pillow Talk palette. Original Pillow Talk is probably one of my favorite Charlotte Tilbury palettes out there. It's also the palette that my husband compliments me on when I wear it, so he actually really likes that palette, which really just shot that palette to one of my #1s in my collection. But what you need to know about the original Pillow Talk is it has a shelf life about 30 months, whereas this one, so the Pillow Talk Dreams, has a shelf life of 18 months. The formulation is not the same. If you look at the back, there is a wheel saying how you should use the shadows, and what's interesting is that you do see that the formulation is different. I think the part that is very different is actually that the last shade, so shade number 4 in the Pillow Talk Dreams palette, is a super pop and not just a pop. What's also interesting to note is original Pillow Talk. It says it has 0.18 ounces of net weight, whereas the Pillow Talk Dreams has a net weight of 0.21 ounces, so a bit more. And for the Europeans out there, original Pillow Talk has a net weight of 5.2 grams, whereas Pillow Talk Dreams has a net weight of 6 grams. So there's more in Pillow Talk Dreams than there is in the original formula. I don't really know what the price is going to be like. I know this is probably going to come out soon for Charlotte Tilbury, but I'm going to assume that it's about the same price as the Fire Rose palette. So again, it is an assumption. I'll put the Fire Rose palette somewhere here at the side so that you know how much the pricing was. Fire Rose is discontinued. It's not available anymore. Hopefully one day it will come back, but I can't compare Fire Rose to this palette. All I can do is compare it to original Pillow Talk and maybe something else that I have in my collection. So here are the two palettes next to each other. This is original Pillow Talk. You're probably gonna recognize it. It's probably one of their most sold quads out there and probably one of the most popular. And this is Pillow Talk Dreams. From afar, you can definitely see Pillow Talk Dreams has darker colors. It's a much darker palette. It looks more nighttime if you ask me. Whereas Pillow Talk is one of those palettes that is just amazing for daytime. It's just mistake proof. It's actually pretty crazy how well this palette performs, and I actually think it lives up to its name. Pillow Talk Dreams. Now I got to use it yesterday again. I couldn't film yesterday. I actually had to walk my dog with like one eye done and the other one was completely empty and bare. Totally embarrassed, but yeah, I do have some experience with this now, and guys, I know that people actually do their final thoughts at the end of the video, but I'm gonna just say it out here, like flat out. This is a stunning palette, and I can't wait to show you guys. I really can't. Now, I have a bare face, and that's because of one reason. The pigment on this is crazy. So let's first do some swatches. As you can tell, I'm not a very great swatcher. My swatches always look very rough, but who gives a hoot and a half when the colors are this beautiful? The pigment on the Pillow Talk Dream palette is pretty insane. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna apply it to the face. I don't have my base on just because these are so pigmented, and I did have a little bit of fallout yesterday, so I decided to do my base after I applied these eyeshadows. I'm gonna zoom you guys in and let's just start the video. As many of you know, Charlotte Tilbury does have a wheel going on how to use these shadows. So you first go in with your prime shade, then your enhance, then your smoke, and then your pop. This, of course, is a super pop. Let's just start applying these shadows. I'll start with the prime shade first. And then I'm gonna go in with the second shadow, the enhanced shade. Now you gotta watch out because look how much it is on the brush. So you gotta tap off, guys, you have to. Let's take a fluffy blending brush and try to blend this out. Let's deepen out the shadow and let's go in with that third shade. This is the smoke shade. And then let's apply the super pop shade. Want to go back in with that prime. Okay guys, here we are right now. I applied some lashes and a tiny little bit of burgundy liner, and we're gonna do the bottom lash line right now. When I do the bottom lash line, I like to go in with the deepest shade first and then smoke it out. Then go in with the enhanced shade. Then going back with that prime shade. Maybe I'll add a burgundy liner as well. I use the Victoria Beckham one, and I like to take it halfway. Smudge it out. Okay, let's do mascara on the bottom lash line and zoom out. Okay guys, so here is the final look. I did go ahead and put on one of my newer lipsticks. This is one of these Natasha Denona lipsticks. I will have a video out for you, I think earlier than this video or maybe even on the same day. Please check out that video. I review two of the lipstick formulas. I have the shades Daphne and Calla, and this is the shade Calla. Very pretty. So let's get back to the palette. In terms of color story, let's first talk about that. The color story, it's like looking at a Pillow Talk, but then Pillow Talk Intense. So I think it definitely would work on many skin tones, like deeper skin tones. If you were looking at this palette and you saw that this was a bit too light for you and you just thought, yeah, I just need a little bit more definition, then this might be the one for you. If you're fair skin toned and you want to look at this palette and you feel like it's a bit too deep for you, don't fret. If you use the 2 top shades, you'll have a beautiful, beautiful day look. So I think in terms of a color story, very beautiful. I think this is a really interesting kind of warm, almost rosy brown, and this is a really great chocolate color brown. You can definitely do a lot with them. The mattes are incredibly pigmented. These feel so soft when you touch them. They're so creamy. I don't know, I can't even explain this. They feel so rich in pigments. I am so intrigued by this formula, guys. I can't even explain to you how amazing this looks in real life. So no, I wouldn't consider them the same formula, as sort of an upgraded version of the formula that she already has. They feel buttery. They feel like they're cream, but they're definitely a powder. You can see a bit of a fallout. I think the fallout is very minimal. I think the shade that has the most fallout is actually the Super Pop Shadow, and that's the one you apply with your finger. So you end up with a little bit of glitter on your face once you use the Super Pop Shadow, but you don't have to use that shadow to get a pretty look out of it. The pigment is there. I think this formula is beautiful. I'm gonna tell you right now, I think that you'll like this formula, and this is a palette that will be sold out immediately. I hope it's not limited edition, but if it is, please make sure to get it as soon as you can, because I feel like it's gonna be really popular. In terms of shades and daily wear, this is definitely for me more of a nighttime palette, but you can use the first 2 shades, so the top row, to do a really pretty day look. Because the shades are so incredibly pigmented, I actually feel like you can make mistakes with this palette, whereas the original Pillow Talk palette is sort of mistake proof for me. No matter what I do, I can always get a really nice day look out of it. This one definitely can go way overboard. So the first 2 times I used this, so yesterday, it made it look like it was so deep that you couldn't even see a lot of definition. So it took me a while to kind of play along with it, and every time I played with this, I got better and better. What I will say is the prime shade, I don't think it's a really beautiful inner corner highlight for me. It's definitely not a highlight that I can use for my brow bone. It's a little bit too deep for that, but it's a beautiful shade nonetheless. If I were to go for an inner corner highlight, I definitely would pick up my Pillow Talk palette and use the prime shade in that quad to actually get a little bit more of that highlight oomph. As you can imagine, I'm actually pretty happy with this palette. I think it's such a great performing palette. I'm so excited for you guys to actually see this in person, and I'm so excited to do this video for you guys. I hope I kind of made it clear how this palette performs and what I like about it, what I don't like about it, but it's a huge win for me. I'm so happy that Charlotte Tilbury came up with this palette. I know she's not officially come out with it yet. I got this from a retailer, honest to God, so I hope that I'm not stepping on any toes for doing this review early. I'm not here to get demonetized. I'm not even monetized yet, but you know what I mean. I don't want to get a strike. I just want to get this content out for you early. I'm a mom, I'm a dog mom, please do not give me a strike. I hope I conveyed myself well when I'm talking about this palette. I think it's a beautiful palette, and I hope that some of you would consider picking this up. I don't know what else to say about this except for I hope it's gonna come out soon, and if it does, I'll make sure to announce it. If something is out in Europe first, I do want to review it really soon for you guys, so make sure to also look at my Instagram, tag me in something if you think, oh, I really want to see a review on this, but it's currently out in Europe. I know most of my audience is American. If you have any questions regarding the formulation or this palette, please make sure to comment down below. I'm happy to answer all of it. If you want to see some more comparisons of this palette, yeah, let me know as well, because right now I still have the time to do the comparison videos. Maybe I'll put it on my Instagram, and I'll let you know immediately when this palette finally gets in stock in Europe and the rest of the world. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off here. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think about the look, and have a great day. Bye.